Go ahead and play these couple videos here as we're getting ready to bring on John Aguon, who is the father of Anghit the Carabao down at Talafofo Bay. So we're going to play these couple videos and then get Mr. Aguon on here on the link. It's 9:20 again. Good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Anghit, the one that got shot either early this morning around 3, 4 o'clock. She's totally exhausted. She's in pain, but hopefully this mud puddle can soothe her injury and her hurt and her pain. And I'm monitoring her for her condition. The idiot that shot her, I will forgive you because you didn't know what you're doing. But, you know, you did some damage to this animal. And Anghit means in English, angel. This Anghit of ours is going to try and be strong and survive and recover from this injury that was done to her. Thank you all for your comments and your prayers for a full recovery, and appreciate everything and your thoughts. Again, thank you all, and I'll keep you updated on her condition. This is Anghit the Carabao.
Mr. Juan Aguon, he's a fixture down there at Talafofo Bay and also had been at the Wednesday night markets with the Chamorro Village, and he's on the line. Oh, I think we lost him. Darn it. Stand by, guys. Okay. Mr. Aguon?
Yeah.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the link. We got Sabrina Salas, Matanani, of course, you know me, Chris, Jason Salas also here, but I guess we'll just start at the beginning. How did you find out Anghit was shot, and then maybe just walk us through the whole process, and really just tragic loss of a beautiful Carabao, Mr. Aguon. So go ahead. When did you find out that Anghit was shot?
Yeah, but first of all, Chris, I'd like to give a shout out. Thank you to everyone that commented and their support and their blessing. You know, it's a big loss to not only to the business but to the family. You know, maintaining a Carabao is requires a lot of time and attention, and it's a very high maintenance. It's not just like he eats grass and drinks water. So every day, even since the COVID, even since the business that utilize a Carabao has closed down, they are required to be maintained, and that is to repasture them to more greener grass, watering them, and especially this time of the season when it's really hot, because the Carabao only sweats on the nose, it doesn't sweat on the body. That's why they're called water buffalo, because they get hot, and if they stay out in the hot sun for 2 hours, they can die of heat stroke, which has happened to one of my Carabaos. But anyway, you know, we're there every day, checking them early in the morning and watering them twice a day due to this heat that we have this time. So early morning, my nephew, who works for me, does the checking of the Carabao. And when he went to the place where Anghit was pastured, he saw that the Carabao was not responding like she usually do, and then he saw that her nose was bleeding, and checked the side and found out that there were possible bullet holes. So he came and notified me early yesterday morning, that day, Sunday, and said that Anghit has been shot. So I went over there and I checked her out. Sure enough, we saw some bullet holes, but it wasn't bleeding profusely. So I said maybe it's just a shotgun hole. So we relocated her and put her in a mud puddle and see if she can, soften the shock that happened to her. But later on the day, as we checked on her, her breathing was not the normal breathing that normal carabao will breathe. He will inhale. She would inhale and hold it and then let it out. So I'm suspecting either a puncture on the lungs. However, after more thorough investigation, we only found one bullet hole on the left side and another bullet hole on the right side. And so it doesn't recognize like a 12-gauge shotgun buckshot bullet. It more represents a high-power rifle.
Right.
Like
So it's a through and through.
Right, it went right through. And later on that evening, around 8-something, I went to check her before I clock up for the night and found her, she has expired. To her, when we checking her out, we found out that the cause of her death was damaged liver caused by the bullet, and about 40% and about 20% of her lungs was damaged. So, she succumbed to that injury.
How old was Anghit?
She's about 11, 12 years old. I obtained her about 4 years ago. The place where I pastored her, I've been pastoring her for the past 5 years, 3 to 4 years, almost 5 years this year. And nothing has really happened. So what I was expecting was that it was a nighttime poacher who doesn't know what he's doing. And when they see that don't get like the eyes shining back from the light, he was a happy trigger and shot it. And later on, when he recognized that it wasn't a deer, it was a carabao, he got lost. And, with the cruelty to animal law that upgraded it from misdemeanor to felony, that individual right now is scared, and afraid. But I am not going after the individual. Maybe he's out there hunting for his family. All I want him to do is just come up and confess to me, and if he can pay some restitution of my loss, that'll be fine. But it's tragic, yes. But one thing about our upbringing as a Chamorro family is, try to forgive. We may not forgive, but try to forgive that individual, and because it wasn't that it was brutally done, but it happened, and that's all I'm asking for is for the individual to just come out and at least say he's sorry. But and that's it. I don't see that I had enemies and they went after my carabaos to do some damage or harm to me, but it wasn't that way.
What kind of life did Anghit lead, Mr. Aguon?
Oh, she's very well liked. Actually, one of my niece had a birthday last week, Saturday, Thursday, somewhere that time frame, and she wrote Carabao, and she's one of the last to ever write her, and she was devastated hearing the news about her passing and of what happened to her. And she said, couldn't even stop crying, and said, I really appreciate your thoughts, your concern, and everything. And she has passed on a very unique experience because if you see the picture of Anghit, she's one of the rare carabaos that will have those spots ever since birth. So she's kind of spotted type carabao. And her name, Anghit, in English means angel. And she's one of our carabao that we use down at the valley, and with all the visitors that we had that she provided a ride with and everything, was very appreciative of her providing that experience and her gentleness and her beauty with those spots.
Jason was saying that before the pandemic, we actually went down there, Mr. Aguon. I don't know if you remember, but I think we rode on it a couple years ago.
Yes, because she wasn't able to pull cart to do the Carabao cart ride at PIC, and then she likes to pee a lot, so she won't. She can't smell up the Chamorro village, so her main station was down at the Valley of the Lati. And I've been doing this Carabao ride business for almost 30 years now. And one of my business policy is that any one member of the family that's physically challenged, in other words, or handicapped, the whole family who rides it free, and that's a business policy we kept up to this day. And yes, we all need money. Yes, I can use the $3 for the gas, but I prefer that the kids that ride any of my Carabao, Doag, Lapti, or Anghit, they can ride it for free, and I prefer their smiling faces and the joy that they experience, priceless.
Is there any rosary plan, Mr. Aguon?
No, but a lot of people may think that she's only a Carabao, but to rest assure them, she's not only a Carabao. She's a friend. She's a part of the family member that help provides some income to support my family, and especially my granddaughter, who I work for because she's my boss. And she loves when she gets tipped down at the Valley of the Latin and say, okay, that's your tip. Go buy your ice cream and buy your drink. So, she's not just a Carabao. And we treat her like a member of the family, that we're responsible for her living, because my dad taught me one lesson about animals. He said that if you want to keep that animal, you better take care of it, because if you can't or don't want to take care of it, leave the animal alone. So any animals that we have, I have a dog, I have a cat, I have pigs, I have, and especially Carabao, we treat them like part of the family, because they're breathing, living things that deserve the respect, the care, and the emotion to be treated that way.
Mr. Aguon, what would you say is your favorite memory with Anghit?
Oh, when kids ride them, they're kids that were hesitating on riding the Carabao because it's so big, so large, and they're kind of scared. But once they ride it, there are kids that don't want to get off the Carabao. So those are the most memorable moments that I would cherish, is that the enjoyment, the fun, the experience, because it's a lifetime experience. Once you ride a Carabao, you can never say you never rode one. And, some of the comments that have come back in response to my Facebook page was that, they really loved her, they really appreciate, and they enjoyed, her providing that service of having people or guests ride her, and they have come back 4 or 5 years ago saying, I rode her 5 years ago, I rode her 4 years ago, and those are the things that matters.
Yeah, I gotta say, my mom actually rode Anghit, and it just popped up on my Facebook memories just a couple days ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
The oldest Chamorro that rode her was 87 years old, and the youngest one that rode her was less than 1 year old, but the dad was with her.
Mm.
So it does not differentiate any race, class, or color, or age.
Well, the Lord works in mysterious ways, Sabrina.
Yeah.
And to the people of Guam, thank you very much for your support. That's all we can say to you. Thank you for all the support, the comfort. And, it's, I even had a person says, can we do a GoFundMe? I said, Yeah, but if it's for treatment, I can understand. But just because of the loss, he says, well, you need to find another carabao and to replace her. And I said, you're right. Because untrained carabao, if it's a male, it may cost you $900, $1,200. If it's a female, it may cost you $1,200 to $1,500. But for a trained carabao like Anghit, I will not release any of my carabao that are trained like that, no less than $5,000. So, it's a business, and I support. Especially during this month of Miss Tomorrow, I've done Naval Station, Anderson, Adventist school, other elementary school, and I got one scheduled to provide for carabao rice for the kids down at EPAL for one of the school up in Dededo. So, especially Harvest Christian Academy, they're always booking me on a monthly basis for the kids, grade kinder to third grade, to experience that riding opportunity.
Mr. Aguon, I wanted to switch gears a little bit and ask you about the reopening of tourism on May 1st. You're, I think, a great example of locals kind of like getting in on the tourism market, right? Like I always see you at the night market, obviously down there at Laddie of the Valley. But just what are your thoughts on reopening the island to tourists on May 1st? And how are you getting ready for that?
Oh, I've been ready ever since it closed. It was a year ago when I did the last carabao ride up Anderson. And, yes, my business has lost money. And, thanks for the federal and the stimulus. But we need the tourists to come back. I've maintained my business like if I were a farmer planting the seed. If you plant the seed, you can collect when it's time to harvest. So, even with this pandemic, I have continued my business on maintaining it because they're live animals. The carabao is accepted in the Chamorro culture as an icon. It's been on the island since the 1600s. To be utilized for plowing. Is the largest split hoof animal on land. And when the tractors came to the island, they were kind of put aside from plowing the farm. So I utilized the carabao as the Chamorro icon for the Chamorro culture to provide our visiting guests. And I can't wait for the tourists to come back because about 80% of my income that comes from this business is from the tourism economy that the island has. And, I can't wait. I'm just so happy that the governor has done something to say, hey, we need to start our tourism back, just like Hawaii is doing right now. Because if we don't plant the seed, the tourism is not going to come back.
All right, Mr. Aguon. I guess lastly, what do you want to say to Anghit's killer out there, this killer on the loose?
Just come and meet me face to face, and we'll talk it out. We'll not press charges because it could be an accident or whatever. But just come out and avail himself to me, and so I can have some closure. Even murderers get forgiven. So, even this incident can be forgiven. And again, I'd just like to thank all the people in my around the world, because I even got messages from Russia, from a friend that wrote Carabao. And, thank you for your thoughts. Thank you for your concern. And thank you for your support. They're greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Mr. Aguon.
All right, and thank you, KUM, for affording me this opportunity to speak out on behalf of Anghit. Anghit, you are loved.
God bless you, Mr. Aguon.
Thanks, Mr.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Hasta.
Thank you,
Okay.
Sabrina.
All right, take care.
Ah,
He said his family.
that is his family.
The comments, people were just, in utter disbelief in
Yep.
comments.
Murderers can be forgiven too. The words from Juan Aguon there. Message to the killer on the loose. Come and see me face to face.
He just wants closure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting how Bree said that like it popped up on Facebook that you said your mom rode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom, when she came and visited, and her and my aunties, they went down to Valley of the Latin. It was the first time my mom had been down there, and the first time she had actually been on a Carabao, and it popped up just like a couple days ago.
Yeah, on Senor John's Facebook post that he made there, where just absolutely blew up. People were actually adding to the comments pictures of them when Anghit would go like around the island, like village fiestas. You guys were talking about like when he just show up like in the most random of places, and Mr. Aguon would just say, "Hey kids, like have a Carabao ride. This is something you have to do. It's like a rite of passage." He said, and his words exactly, he goes, "Once you've ridden a Carabao, like it's a life-changing experience."
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah, exactly. But people were and you can see the Anghit was much younger, all over the island. It's just this outpouring of love.
9:42. Let's switch gears a little bit and take you guys, we'll close out the show, take you on a nice little hike with our friends at Harlem Hikes, right? Yeah. And then Bree, we're also going to shoot another of these dirty politics today. This is a great segment that we're doing for Earth Month.
So today we are heading out to Dededo, and we are going to be meeting up with Senator Clint Rogel, who hosted a